Welcome to Star Watch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Imagine a glittering after-party where legends mingle and cameras hum like bees. Someone leans over and jokes. Even Michelle Yeoh couldn't afford Wang Yibo. The table roars. The internet does the rest. But here's the twist. This story is not about an outrageous price tag. It's about why such a joke lands. It lands because the rules of value in Asian entertainment have changed. Michelle Yeoh's rise to global icon, capped by a historic Best Actress Oscar, symbolizes craft rewarded at scale. Wang Yibo's ascent represents a different engine. A platform era where value compounds across screens, sports, and social reach. Tonight, we unpack the hidden economics behind that throwaway line. How reputation, reliability, and real-world performance fuse into a price that sounds unbelievable until you understand the system that made it inevitable. Buckle up. By the end, you'll see why that line isn't a punchline. It's a map. When people quip that even Michelle Yeoh couldn't afford Wang Yibo, they're not diminishing Yeoh's stature. They're acknowledging a new price logic. In the old world, value was tallied in album sales, box office weekends, and rigid contracts. In the new world, value is continuous, a rhythm of releases, audience touchpoints, community goodwill, and brand performance you can actually measure. Yeoh's career reminds us that excellence travels across languages and markets when the work stands tall. Yibo's career shows how excellence compounds when it is joined to data, direct fan channels, and diversified formats, from prestige dramas to racing paddocks. The headline, then, is a metaphor, not who can afford whom, but which system can keep pace with an artist whose value keeps multiplying. That's why a single cheeky line can ignite debate. It compresses a decade of structural change into one spark. And sparks, as you know, start engines. Picture a flywheel turning. A serious role lands, audiences lean in, a brand partnership clicks, numbers lift during a shopping window, the next script arrives stronger, and the circle turns again. Wang Yibo's turning point was not only fame from the Untamed. It was how that visibility translated into repeatable performance, brand renewals, steady cross-market interest, and growing trust with mature viewers who value consistency over chaos. With each loop, uncertainty shrinks. Advertisers aren't gambling, they're compounding. Ad film work like hidden blade, alongside live events and cultural projects, and you get resilience. When one pillar slows, another carries momentum. The genius of the modern star is not louder noise. It's calibrated continuity, the right project at the right time, the right message for the right audience, the right partners who stay because the numbers do. That is why a fee can sound unaffordable to those still pricing yesterday's spotlight, not today's engine room. How do you know it's hard value, not hype? Start with breadth and depth of partnerships. When collaborations span sectors and renew over time, it signals predictable outcomes for brands targeting adults 35 to 75. Look at performance markers, program reach, and cultural resonance from The Untamed, plus festival and international visibility for Hidden Blade, gave advertisers confidence that campaigns can travel, from Tokyo to Toronto, Bangkok to Bordeaux. Add the sports dimension. Yibo's discipline in competitive motorcycle racing at Zhuhai showed steadiness and risk management, traits trusted by mature consumers and insurers alike. Most important is the audience behavior you don't see in headlines. Assisted conversions during retail peaks, search lift that lingers, and clean sentiment profiles that avoid brand risk. When these line up, marketing directors don't ask, "Can we afford him?" They ask, "Can we afford not to renew?" That's how pricing becomes proof. Think of two operating systems. System A is traditional and agency first. Contracts tight as drumheads, value judged by box office weekends and record shipments. System B is platform era and artist-led. Value captured across film, music, live events, e-commerce spikes, and social channels where communities don't just watch, they act. Hong Kong's powerhouse model, exemplified by companies built by figures like Albert Young at Emperor Group, still dominates in certain lanes. But mainland China's multi-channel model measures everything and rewards what endures. If you price a System B artist with System A maths, you get sticker shock. If you price with System B, compounding across formats and quarters, you get clarity. The joke about not affording is really about a spreadsheet that doesn't yet have columns for modern value. Update the sheet, and the gap becomes logic, not scandal. Here's a simple lens for mature audiences and marketers alike: the brand fit score. Imagine weighting 4 things: audience overlap, age, regions, purchasing power, value alignment, craft, restraint, reliability, conversion history, what actually happens during big retail windows, and reputation resilience, cleaner profiles, calmer fandoms. Score them fairly, and you'll see why certain partnerships feel effortless from Seoul to Seattle and Paris to Perth. It's not only the size of the crowd, it's how well the message travels and how little translation it needs, culturally and ethically. Stars who score high on brand fit deliver campaigns that don't age overnight. The tone remains respectful. The story honors the product. The audience feels seen, not sold to. That's why renewals stack. That's why premiums make sense. And that's why the wisest brands quietly chase compounding trust rather than noisy spikes that vanish by Monday. We'll show you how to draft your own brand fit score at home in a future episode. For viewers 35 to 75, work ethic is the quiet luxury. It never shouts, yet you always notice. Watch a writer focus on breaking points at Juhai. Observe a performer switch from set discipline to national cultural duties without fraying at the edges. That steadiness is not an algorithm. It's character. And character converts into safe campaigns, long-term ambassadorships, and a public image that doesn't keep legal teams awake at night. In cinema, legends like Michelle Yeoh remind us how craft and care build across decades. In modern scient, the best of the new generation show how breadth and measured daring keep audiences engaged without courting chaos. When a star carries both craft and composure, they become the person brands call first, not last. That is the premium you're hearing in that party line joke, and the reassurance older audiences feel when they see it paid. That playful "excuse me, leave" video, complete with a blink and you miss it cat, was more than a meme. It was a temperature check. Warmth in seconds, restraint in tone, and a gentle wink that said, "I respect your time." Why does this matter to a 35 to 75 audience? Because tone tells you what to expect when things go wrong. Stars who display charm within boundaries tend to handle pressure without spilling it on viewers. Paired with a heavy calendar, shoots, cultural events, high-focus rehearsals, small moments of levity signal energy management, not indifference. It's the same principle that makes Yeoh's award season Poise feel like a masterclass. Charisma never overwhelms consideration. For advertisers, that balance is priceless. Your campaign inherits both the lightness of the joke and the weight of the calendar behind it. It's why a single, neat clip can move sentiment curves more reliably than a dozen noisy stunts. The Guardian. 9 Counterpoint. Can premium narrow roles? A fair worry in any downturn. Do higher fees limit artistic options? 2 answers. First, smart portfolios breathe. Premium commercial work funds prestige or mission-driven projects where the payoff is legacy, not a day rate. Second, we live in a co-production era. When a lead can carry markets from Tokyo to Toronto, partners appear, investors, platforms, festivals to underwrite bigger risks. Still, vigilance is wise. The healthiest careers revisit the basics. Workshops to stretch range. Collaborations where the script, not the salary, is the headline. And measured media presence that lets the work do the talking. Look at how films like Hidden Blade traveled on the festival circuit while TV phenomena like The Untamed kept global fandom sticky. The bridge between them is not money, it's momentum. Price can close doors. Momentum reopens them. Ask a 60-year-old in Seoul, a 55-year-old in Lyon, or a 70-year-old in Vancouver what they cherish, and you'll hear versions of the same words. Consistency, kindness, craft. They don't need a headline every Tuesday. They need assurance that the person on their screen will be roughly the same person next year. Respectful, prepared, still curious. That's why Michelle Yeoh's milestone meant so much beyond Hollywood. It felt like recognition catching up with reality. And it's why younger stars who respect their audience's time and values often gain intergenerational trust. When that trust accumulates, Society treats a performer less like a weather vane and more like a reference point. Campaigns become calmer. Charity nights mean more. And a joking line about affording becomes what it always was. A shorthand for how rare it is to find people you can count on and off the set. For fans, support the work legally, share thoughtfully, discourage pile-ons. Your behavior is market feedback and the market listens. For brands, measure beyond impressions, track assisted conversions in retail weeks, regional search lift, sentiment stability, and, most telling of all, renewal rates across years. For creators, build your own flywheel. Ship on time. Pick partners that align with your values. Let your quiet days be as disciplined as your big ones. This is how value compounds without noise. The way Yeoh's decades of craft culminated in a beacon moment. The way Yibo's multi-format discipline turns fans into long-term communities. Do this and price stops being a guess and becomes a graph. One that older audiences read fluently because they've seen over a lifetime what stays. The Guardian. So, would even Michelle Yeoh say she can't afford Wang Yibo? The literal answer misses the lesson. The real point is this. When craft, character, and measurable impact align, the price isn't a provocation. It's proof. That's the secret the headline accidentally reveals, and the compass you can use to read the next decade of Asian entertainment. Calmly, clearly, and without the noise. If you appreciate insight-first stories like this, please subscribe to UpdateX24H, tap like, and share with someone who enjoys thoughtful conversation about culture and value. Thank you for watching. Stay well, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next episode.